Speak Up and Empower is an organization dedicated towards education, social impact, and promotion. Focused on building businesses, community, relationships, and lives that allow us to create and share our dreams. Approach life with a desire of the best in ourselves, although abundance of health and love. Speak Up and Empower provides community members with the tools that they need to create and share their dreams. Authors of all forms, blogs, articles, magazines, books, copyright, bloggers and publishers, and course providers. Retailers, speakers, whatever way you connect with the world, we provide you with the tools that you need to be seen and heard. We will guide you, educate you, and support you, and empower you to realize the passion and turn your dreams into reality. Speak Up and Empower is an organization dedicated towards education, social impact, and promotion. Focused on building businesses, communities, relationships, and lives that allow us to create and share our dreams. When we are able to approach life with a desire to allow the best in ourselves and all those around us, abundance of health, wealth, and love will naturally flow. Speak Up and Empower provides community members with the tools that they need to create and share their dreams. Authors of all forms, blogs, articles, magazines, books, copyright, bloggers and publishers, and course providers. Retailers, speakers, whatever way you connect with the world, we provide you with the tools that you need to be seen and heard. We will guide you, educate you, and support you, and empower you to realize the passion and turn your dreams into reality.
It is with a sunny attitude of gratitude that I welcome you to this week of Real Talk with Lovemore. This week, Love Team is Nicole. I'm sure by now you're used to her face, the Victory Coach. And we are so delighted to have the team leader here from Speak Up and Empower. Thank you to Speak Up and Empower for hosting us. We are delighted to be here. This is Coach Lovemore, fellow queen, your sister, your friend, wherever you are. And I'm so delighted to have you here. This week on Real Talk with Lovemore, a passion of mine is how to love more as an entrepreneur and how to support fellow women in business and building their brands through love without conditions. So welcome everyone. And as usual, I'll pass you over to my wonderful love team and host, Nicole. She helps to keep us organized. That's what she's strong at. So Nicole and Karen, welcome. We'll start off by having you telling us a little bit about who you are, especially from a brand or business perspective. And then, so Nicole, I'm passing over the love tea baton over to you. And welcome my wonderful Lovemore villagers.
Well, it is great to be here and I'm loving it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Nicole Waldron, your, let's say, voice of victory and mental fitness coach. And I'm here with my great friends. And we're all dressed in pink tonight. And guess what? We didn't plan it. At least I know I didn't plan it. We all came up with pink. And so it's so good when your sister friends are in the same synergy as you are. I have been in the event planning space for over 30 years. Yes, and I'm only 35. I know, isn't that cute? Yeah. Um, I have my podcast and an audio podcast, and I do 2 live shows every week on the Victory Speaks platform, where we are inspiring conversations to inspire you to live a life of victory. And we also have a mental health and wellness series. And we actually started something new this week. It's my anniversary. It's my anniversary week. It's 1 year of the Victory Speak show yesterday. Yes. And who knew I would start a show in the pandemic and make it into a year later and, adding more series in the show. And we're adding a piece for caregivers in the mental health and addiction arena. And so we started that on Wednesday, and the stories are very powerful. And next week, Wednesday, we're going to be hitting you a double punch of what's happening in that space. So be sure to tune in. And yeah, so that's just a little bit about me. And I speak and, I coach. But, tonight we're all about the love and entrepreneurship. And who better to really uh, help us with this conversation than the entrepreneur extraordinaire, the woman who helps everyone to speak up and be empowered. I don't know how she finds the energy. And every time we look in our emails every day, literally, we say, Karen has something new. What? Did we just get another hour in the day? I wonder. And I think I'm busy, and you know what? It's one thing to be busy, but busy and productive. She's not busy. This woman is productive. And I cannot even begin to introduce Karen. So I'm not even going to try. I'm going to let Karen tell you who she is and what in the world she's up to in the world, globally, in this season.
Thank you, Nicole, and thank you, Cher. Love more. So my name is Karen. I am your girl next door. I'm no different than you, and these girls there are going. But honestly, I am no different. So you can tell I've gone from meeting to meeting today. I just said to him, I think I've had to have 3 showers because I've just been running and and I've been outside in meetings and inside in meetings, social distancing. And I have, you can tell, no makeup on. So this is, me coming at you really real and really raw. So I started Speak Up and Empower 2.5 years ago. So I have mentors, just the same as everybody else. And one of my mentors is Svetlana Ratnikova, who's Immigrant Women in Business, said to me, honey, you won't make it until you're in your 3rd year. So everything in my life comes in 3s. Everything. I believe in the power of 3.
Okay.
And when she said that, I knew she was right. So the one thing about you can start a brand, and because I'm a marketing strategist and an online specialist, you can start a brand, but it can change because you're going to grow during that time frame. So I knew that in that 3 years, I was going to grow. And then sometimes I go back to my message and I haven't really gone very far from the original message. It's just how I've delivered what I'm doing. So the delivery has been different. And people will say, I changed the platform again this week because we're growing to a whole new different level. We're expanding out with I will fix my country. Getting people to take ownership. So in Africa, we're spreading out. In India, we have people in India actually delivering oxygenators out there in the field. We have them doing, delivering meals in the field. We have women in Africa, Power to Our Mothers, raising awareness. One of our girls is actually running for president. I never, ever imagined at 2.5 years, I would be where I am today.
Wow.
Never. But, so what I'm going to say is it comes down to relationships. So if I had to pick a key factor, it would have been I was totally consistent, but also I built relationships. I made sure that Speak Up and Empower was visible. And I never even thought of my own locality, where I come from. I've won numerous global awards in the past year, but in all other countries. I've been recognized in Canada once by our House of Commons, but like huge global recognitions. And so that was the whole key. The whole key was being visible and building relationships. A lot of people say, I like to talk. So if you know me, I do. I love to talk and I love to listen. So I like to know what's going on about you on the other side of the screen. And I just told the women tonight, I'm just so excited. So Speak Up and Empower has been partnering and collaborating. So that's the key, social collaboration, which is relationships, community collaboration. We just partnered with the RTG group and we're launching I Will Feed Our Children, which is going to be like a huge national global campaign. But you know what? I did a post this morning about children, and this sort of summarizes it. It was 10 things to teach your child.
Okay.
And one of those 10, there's a couple that we were saying were so important. One is if you see a problem and you recognize it as a problem, take a stance.
I like that.
Take a stance. Children don't realize that, to take a stance, to find resolution, not solution, to find resolution. There's a big difference. So that was one. One was, to always give thanks, to be appreciative even of the smallest things you have. So throughout the night, we can bring up a couple of the other ones, but it was so important because when I looked at it, I thought, anybody could be like me. But you just have to stand in your power and recognize that, you can be that small ripple that's going to cause a tidal wave because other people are going to join you. So thank you.
Oh, wow, Karen, congratulations. And thank you for serving and having a heart of love. Congratulations as well, Nicole, on your 1-year anniversary. Yes. Congratulations. So I think it is just one of those evenings where you celebrate, and I wish I had the celebration music. But definitely next time. Nicole, I celebrate you and I just love who you are and love what you do. Karen as well, I celebrate you. I'm so thankful for you. And Karen is one of my mentors as well. Through the art of learning to ask, I made a public post asking for help. And she responded, and someone else responded this week after how many months? She's like, you know what she said? I was hesitant to respond because I wasn't sure if I was qualified to help. So we can talk about imposter syndrome.
Whoa.
And she picked up the phone and called me she called me via Facebook this week. I think it's also timely. So the power of asking, the power of learning to receive, and as women in business, that imposter syndrome, I call it the I syndrome, is just for us to know how, and it is very important for us to share. And this is the reason why I picked this topic this week. And it's not going to end with one conversation because it's endless. I honestly, Nicole, I had to revisit my why, and I had to pray, Lord, please remind me of my mission, because sometimes we forget. And it was pressing on my heart. Bring hope. Hope.
Mhm.
Hope. Hope will get you out of bed. Hope will have you pull out your vision board and remind yourself of your vision. And I could go on and on because I'm so super excited about this topic. But I'm just going to simmer myself down and pass it over to Nicole, because we have so much to talk about tonight. And I know it's my passion. I don't want to go on and on. So I'm going to behave myself. Back to you, Nicole.
Well, you know what? Hope deferred makes the heart sick. And when it springs forward, it's a tree of life. So hope is very important, and you segue into a really good thing. And I want to, I think it would be good for us to share, like, why did you even start what you started? Like, what was the vision for Lovemore? What was the vision for Speak Up and Empower? I know, Karen, you said, things have changed and evolved, but really, what was the vision? What was that seed that you felt germinating in your womb that you just had to, like, I don't want to be a grapefruit tree. I want to be a hibiscus tree, but no, but saying no. Speak up and empower. That's what you got to do, Karen.
So, Speak Up and Empower started really coming to fruition 6 years ago. When I started 6 years ago thinking I wanted a women's community. I have a little granddaughter, Natalie, who is 6 years old, and I wanted to rock her world. I wanted to leave her a legacy. I wanted to be a nana that just didn't talk the talk, but actually walked the talk. And you'll like, if you followed me, you'll see pictures of her in her all her superhero women uniforms. But it was so cute. Yesterday she was a Ninja Turtle in one of her outfits. So you know what? Sex has no gender in our house. Whatsoever. And so I just really wanted her to be a superhero.
And that's how you started.
Yes.
And empower. By wanting to empower your beautiful granddaughter. And then henceforth now you're empowering the world and leaving a legacy.
So I want to comment on that statement though. I don't believe we can empower anyone. So I'm going to really put it out there, and you're going to wonder why. So all these companies, their marketing and their branding and their subliminally, I call it subliminal seduction, right? Mm-hmm. They always say, in all their branding, I'm going to empower you. Well, you can't.
You can inspire them. Mm-hmm.
You can inspire them. You can educate them. You can help them build their skill sets. You can teach them, life skills. But in the end, it comes down to you. You have to choose to be empowered, and you have to choose to be enlightened. And so, so this is sort of taking it, but this is sort of important to me. I was in a big conversation today about body dysmorphia. We had a talk last night online where the woman didn't want to be seen because she has body dysmorphia. And so much as women, we're fed a load of crap.
Yes.
A load of crap. Huge.
I'm sorry, Karen. Could you just, what is body dysmorphia? It's very important that we break it down, please.
Thank you. So body dysmorphia is when you look at yourself and it doesn't matter. You never love yourself. You always feel there's something physically wrong with you because you're comparing yourself to the woman next to you.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a physical attribute. It can be, emotional or mental attribute. And so in the long run, it becomes a mental illness. And you know what? It's alarming. So this is what we were talking about. And this is really gut-wrenching, that there's actually girls out there committing suicide because they ran out of mascara, or they ran out of blush during COVID, or concealer, or they put on 10 pounds during COVID. And so people will say, well, it's COVID that made all these young women and boys commit suicide. But most of the time, it's bullying that has made them. And a lot of times, bullying will lead to body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
And you know what? As a society, we really have to look at the messages that we subliminally give our daughters or the women, in our society. And the one thing about it is that body dysmorphia shows no, it's prevalent in North America now, it's prevalent in Africa, it's prevalent in India, it's prevalent all over the world, because we see, all these, wear this, diet, be a size 5, otherwise you're not healthy, and that's the message we're given. We're not healthy if we don't diet and be a size 5, or if, the amount of women that will use Botox. And I know a lot of beauty companies out there could be sort of upset with me, but women stop learning to age gracefully, to really love who they are, and how, and they forget about the spiritual side of them, what's inside of them. They forget about what makes them beautiful. And so, I'm going to be honest, that's part of the reason I came tonight with no makeup. And I wasn't going to say that. And, I got bit on the lip, no concealer or anything, but you have to learn to love who you are.
Yes.
And that's the message. If anything, speak up and empower right now, we want to give is we love you just the way you are.
I love that.
Awesome.
You should have told us, so we could have just all come bare naked tonight, except for
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't, we had this big talk about it, but I thought, it's not real if I tell you before the show, because then it's sort of,
That's true. Yeah.
It's like premeditated, and it's not. But, I really felt for the woman last night who really got so upset. Like, she wanted her voice to be heard, but not her face to be seen. And because she ran out of cosmetics. So I'm going to tell you, there's a massive, massive society for dysmorphia. And they've let me in as a fly on the wall, just so I can really see. And it's just not women, it's also young men.
Of course.
Yeah. It shows.
Yeah, it doesn't discriminate. Yeah.
I know. So, I think it's really important for people to, I'm all about analytics and stats. So I think it's really important for us to look at the stats. How many people actually commit suicide with body dysmorphia? And how many men actually commit suicide because of mental illness?
It's a very high rate. It's a very
high rate. It's 8 out of 10. So if you take 10 people, 2 would be females, 8 would be males in the world stats for suicide. Yep. And that's something else that we don't talk about.
Yeah, men commit suicide more than women. Yep.
Way more. So so when you go back to why I did this, I want my granddaughter to know that she's just the most beautiful, perfect little girl, just the way she is. If she's rolling in mud, or if she's, dancing or whatever, she has unconditional love. And I want other kids and other women and men to know that they're just beautiful the way they are.
I love that, Karen. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is really impactful, and makes me want to be a part of Speak Up Empower even more. And it makes us want, it makes you say a lot and think about, why are we really doing what we're doing? But even more importantly, what are you doing in terms of when you think of your children and your grandchildren? I'm not a grandma yet, and I hope that's far off. But as we think about generations, how do we want to change our generations? What do we want to see our world looking like in the future? Because the young people of today are going to be the ones deciding what the world looks like tomorrow. So we need to, impact and inspire them to walk
Yes.
in empowerment, inspire them to walk in empowerment. And when you talked about inspire, I remember it so well. Meeting Dr. Miles Monroe, and the acronym I used to have with my company was motivate, enlighten, and empower. And he said, you need to start using inspire. It
Yeah.
actually, the word he changed was motivate. He says, it's better to inspire people because inspiration sits. When you have to motivate someone, you have to motivate them every day.
It's true.
So,
And when I use the word empower, it means to grow your own power.
yeah. And
Stand
I
in
get it
your
now.
own, to stand in your own power. And I'm learning so much every day. So in Africa, over 50% of their population, one of the biggest continents in the world, 55 they're like states. So I know I've used the wrong word, but 55 of them. And over 50% are under the age of 24. So when you look at stats, those young women are going to be the power, of the future.
Mhm.
And most of them are women. So like we have an influencer called Mary Mumo, who's huge in Africa. That's just joining us. And you know what? Everybody has a story and their voice needs to be heard.
Yes, that is definitely true. And I'm so glad you're doing this, Karen. And you segue so well into what Lovemore does
I
because,
know.
because her name is her legacy and her legacy is her name. So, as I lead into that, why don't you tell them about the legacy in the name and why you even transitioned from being a chef and loving us with food and now into creating love in our souls and our hearts and our spirits?
Thank you, ladies. Such an interesting, wonderful conversation. Thanks for enlightening me, Karen, on body dysmorphia. Wow, where do I even begin there? As I said, there's so much to share with you. We could just sit and talk all night. Lovemore Lifestyle Inc., my business brand, because tonight we're talking all about business and building our brand and entrepreneurship, is a pain to purpose story. And I want to share this with you from the other side. I created Lovemore because I needed a change. And for a very long time, I felt it inside. I felt stifled. I felt uncreative. That's even a word as a chef. And I knew that there was more that I was meant to do, and I didn't know what it was, and it was sitting right within me. As Karen said, we have to learn to go within. But I was so busy, not sleeping, more busy, and COVID came and sat me down and gave me the vacation I haven't had in 18 years. And it gave me the opportunity to connect with me. So the pain is I wasn't taking care of myself. There wasn't no self in this business equation as being a chef. I overworked myself. There was no spiritual connection. And I finally caught myself and saw where I was at, and I finally made the choice that I need to make a change. Because for many years I was like, oh my goodness, I need a change, but I wasn't taking action. And thankfully I've evolved to the point where I'm like, you know what, I want more out of life. I want to live. And not only did I say it, I actually made the choice. So Lovemore Lifestyle Inc. for me is, I wanted a lifestyle. I wanted to choose a lifestyle that was great and good for me and my daughter and for the people I'm serving. So that's why I called it Lovemore Lifestyle. I wanted a life of more living, more gratitude, more smile, more joy, more all the great things that God has created and have in abundance for all of us. And that's one of the reasons why I created Lovemore Lifestyle Inc. I've chosen my legacy. I'm living in it, and you can give it my flowers now and not wait until I'm past and gone. Celebrate me now because I'm walking, living, breathing, smiling my legacy. So excited. I could go on.
And you know what? It's so true. When you speak about it, you just become like, is the ever battery? Is it the Duracell battery? It's just go, keep going. You just light up. You
She
feel like,
radiates.
yeah, you get this energy that's coming from you. Like, so the legacy. So we talk about legacies, and now you both got really still. You had some really good moments, and I mean, like when I thought about Victory Speaks, I know if I don't even say anything, Lovemore is going to jump in here. Um, you see, I see her shaking her head. You see, I was trying to go over it, and it's like I heard this like, it's like she's on mute, eh? But it's like I heard something just zap me in the spirit there. Karen said, "You better tell them something, Nicole." She didn't say a
You
word.
better.
So, you know, Nicole, funny people don't recognize because it's such a name that is so popular, right? You can feel like you're just part of the wallflowers, but Nicole actually has a strong meaning, which means victory of the people. And funny enough, the other beautiful thing about my whole name is that my middle name is Karen. So as soon as I met Karen, I was like, yay! And
I didn't
Karen,
know that.
yeah, Karen means pure. And I won't tell you what the rest mean because that'll just make you crack you right the heck up. Anyway, so victory has always been part of who I am. And I think when I was younger, I was more in more boldness. Somewhere in the middle, when life was happening and things were happening with relationships not going well, started questioning myself. But then now you're in your 50s and you're like, yeah, I like 50. I can say what I want, do what I want. Like, I really don't care what you think. You know, if I have one listener on the Victory Speak show, it's not about who's watching, it's about who's listening and whose life can be impacted and what life can be changed. And and victory speaks is a sentence. Let your victory speak. How can you let your victory speak in your life? And victory is not about coming first, crossing the finish line, bam. It's not a race. It's a marathon. And it's the marathon where I pass my baton to Lovemore and Lovemore passes her baton to Karen. And at the end of the day, we are crossing the finish line together. It's like when
Woo.
Lovemore talks about the Peloton. And the Peloton, that there's one person there on the side and one person on the left. But, Nicole's the one riding the bike going to win the race. But she can't do it unless she has the Pelotons around her propelling the wheel and creating the energy and creating all, moving the drafts and the wind shafts and all those different things and taking the lead when Nicole is tired. And so we all have to inspire each other. And so, when you get an idea, and for me, I believe in God, and I know this was a God inspired idea. And for a couple of years, I was going to register Victory Speaks. It wouldn't register. And then all of a sudden, there it was. And I could do it. And I didn't know how to start a website. And I have a basic website. I need help building my website because technology is not my thing. But it's so funny that when you get an idea and it really is God inspired, He will start giving you wisdom and revelation if you open yourself to the process. And, going on YouTube and clicking onto the right show. I remember clicking onto the right show, and there was Shirley Joseph from Black Canadian Content Creators with Tristan Barracks. They were doing this free webinar in COVID about podcasting. And I'm like, yes, I was learning and gleaning and leaning in, and then there was somebody else, and there was somebody else, and YouTube is your friend. I think we could almost solve how to solve cancer. We might be able to learn how to solve the pandemic by going on YouTube. There's so much to learn on YouTube. And so, I've always been in the realm of media for some reason or the other. And sometimes the universe, the spirit, God is talking to you, and things may come in your way that may take you off of what you were planning. But don't give up. I'll say to anybody, don't give up. Keep going. And I talked myself out of it a lot because as an event planner, I wanted to do conferences, speaking up and empowering women. So like when meeting Karen, I was like, this is like a full circle moment here, you know? And the synergy of it, and Lovemore introducing me to Karen. And so as I think about the things I wanted to do and where I am now, It's so fitting, and getting back into the speaking arena. And I talked myself out of it. And I'm going to share this part of my story because I want you guys to also share what were some of those, what it's, Lovemore brought up the imposter syndrome, or the things that make you go, and I think we all have them. No one is without them, because there's always somewhere you have a doubt, and people see us smiling, and they see us coming on, and they see us talking, and they think it's all hunky dory, and they think we don't have any doubts or concerns. And I had to remind myself not to talk myself out of it this time, because McDonald's is next to Burger King, and Burger King is next to Wendy's, and they all sell burgers, but everyone has a different flavor. And we are all speakers. And the fact that we can all be on this same platform together, because each of us has a different frequency. And it's okay, because sometimes our audience may cross over, and sometimes it may just be totally unique. And that's okay. And it's just to remember that your voice has its own frequency, a bandwidth that it's called to. Your business, your soap might feel better on me than on Lovemore, and we just all have to operate in our lane. So, um, as I do the Victory Speak show, I want to inspire you to have inspired conversations and see your life as an inspiration, and recognize that there's victory in every moment of your day. And if you see right behind me the little butterfly, actually, she's not on her box tonight. She's normally on a box. So here's the box. And this little box is my little butterfly box. But in this box has my victory moments. So every week I write down, like tonight, I'll write down this show as one of the victory moments. I got to speak with Karen and Lovemore about entrepreneurship and empowerment, and whatever else gets put. And so the days that I'm down, I go in here and I open up the box, and there's a box of victory. And it's different than a journal, because sometimes the journal, but yeah, I still have journals sitting empty. Anyways, I'm talking, and I should shut up now. See, Karen?
Why? No, go for it. You should know me. Go for it.
So share your pain into purpose story, ladies.
No, you know what? I'm going to, this could get really raw. But I am done. I am done with feeling sad. I am done as not knowing my own worth. And I do not have to be reminded about my parts of my story that made me sad. Because I have triumphed over them.
Yes.
Triumphed. And in doing so, I honestly believe that this week, like, how many people could solve world hunger? Like, truly solve world hunger with children. And this all just snowballed within 1 week. And I truly believe, well, everybody here knows here that I believe in God, and I believe that it's His power. But I am so done. And I tell women, you have the right to tell your story, and you have the right to not tell your story. You have the right to triumph over your story. And you know what? We have Survivor's Haven at Speak Up and Empower, which is women coming from domestic abuse, or you've had cancer, or different things. But a lot of times you get so caught up in the story, you never truly triumph the story. And you know what? We can forgive. We will never, ever forget. I don't care what anybody says. You will never, ever forget. But you can forgive. You can triumph over the situation. And you can learn to take back your power. 100%. So I do not want to talk about what I've overcome, because I am your girl next door. And we've all overcome shit.
Yes.
We've all overcome shit. And it's affected us all in different ways. But we have the choice to take it back and not tell our story, So when the Me movement happened, and I've been really putting my foot in my mouth in the past week. Because when you walk into this power, we say things that a lot of people don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Because they just sort of, go with the flow. So I love how men support women. I'm going to put it out there. I don't believe men should lead women's organizations because they will never, ever know what we've gone through. And it would be like us going into a boys' club and leading the boys' club.
That's a good analogy.
That we know what went on in their locker rooms. It's sort of so, and that's one thing. I've sort of put my foot in my mouth about that this week.
How did you take that, Karen?
Pardon?
When you said it.
Not good.
Ooh.
Not good. And then there's all these compilation books out there. Mm-hmm. And this won't make a lot of people happy either. And I really talked about that this week. So women pay like certain amounts of money to tell their story in a book. And it's a lot of money. We're not talking chunk change.
Yeah.
And
we're talking about the anthologies.
Yes.
Right.
And so then what happens is they brought up parts of their past that they have never even shared with their family. They don't know what's the outcome of this story going public. The founder of the Me movement, they started a group in the US, and we were hoping before COVID to have what we call healing in the circle. And she says, so much of the times the emphasis is put on the perpetrator and not on the person who's gone through the, that's what people remember is what's been done to them. So it's what the perpetrator's done, but not how that girl or that boy has overcome and rised above and triumphed over what's happened to them. And I think things like that really need to be looked at. And you know what? When you write a book, very seldom are you ever going to make money. Very seldom. Like I would say maybe 2% of authors make money, or 2% of people who write in books make money. Now, they say it authenticizes them, right? It gives them some form of authentication. I think you can tell I've been working since 5 this morning. But I really don't know if it does that either. So but who makes the money? So these are things that are important to me. Who makes the money in a compilation book?
And I think sometimes it's not always about the money for some. And you know what? Different people do anthologies differently. And most people, you're right. Yeah. It becomes about the person who is, you as the person who puts your chapter in may not make the money. And, I'm learning how to do perspectives in certain things, to weigh certain things. And if you're going into an anthology, you have to go into it with your eyes very wide open.
Yes.
You have to know who you're doing the business with and why you're doing the business. There's some good people out there that are doing it for some really good reasons. And there's some rattlesnakes out there that will come around and turn you around. And, I think of one good person who's doing an anthology right now, and I won't say the name because she's working on it. And, but she's really doing it to, as we say, empower women. And she's not charging an arm and a leg. And she's making sure that, these women have something a tool that you can go out with and start. I think it's when I hear her, it's giving them that tool that gets them even the courage to start writing, because sometimes you need that little kick in your butt to say, okay, oh wait, I wrote a chapter in a book. I'm now an author. But you didn't really recognize that this is what it is. And if people do it from that point, oh my goodness, what beauty, what magic can happen. It's when you go in for the other reason and you think you're going to make you're going to make $1 zillion. No, you're not going to make $1 zillion unless you have $1 zillion to invest in marketing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that since this is about business, you know what? A lot of times people will start a business and they don't think about their budget, their marketing budget.
Mm,
You cannot own a business if you are not visible.
right.
And so, therefore, you have to put that. I always tell people it's like putting the cart before the horse, but marketing should come first, the marketing budget, you know?
So I literally feel like one day in the not too distant future, when we are all available, I think we should really do a show focused on marketing, because that would really be like, this touches on it. And I love how you said, Karen, about, it's kind of like enough. And this is how I'm going to tell my story. This is how I'm going to share my story. And I'm going to make sure it comes from a place of triumph.
Right.
We have to have the right to triumph over our story. So I really love that. And it's not going back and revisiting pain. And it's how you really get the perspective in your share and really come from a different point of view, so that you're not re-traumatizing yourself, especially if you have trauma stories in your story.
Mhm.
Because not everybody has, big trauma. So I really respect and honor that. And
Thank you.
what you did in your answer was actually, you gave people some wisdom nuggets of how to, just that phrasing, triumphing over your story. And not that your story is a bad thing, but it's walking in the, basically what I heard is, how can I walk in the triumph of my stories? How can I walk in the victory of my story and totally be empowered and equipped to move, to be the best me, and to whatever my business is, whatever, but I'm called to speak or whatever it is, I must do this in a triumphant way and see triumph as the overall thing, and not stay in victim mode, but be in
Right.
victor mode. Okay, I heard you right. Okay, Miss Lovemore, you're up next. Like, okay, um, what is the purpose that came out of the challenges in that you were facing? See, I'm going to try and rephrase my verbiage after hearing Karen speak tonight. Got to learn on the fly.
Yes, I before I go into my answer, I just wanted to share something that I learned in Clubhouse with Nicole. A gentleman named Greg, because I want to make sure that I'm really
Yes,
not taking
correct.
credit for this. Greg said, this is a great marketing reminder. You can't be visible if you are invisible. Is it Greg Walker, Nicole?
Mhm. Greg is, I'll
Yes.
get his last name for you. Go
Yes.
ahead, keep
So
talking.
yes, I believe so. It's Greg. So just remember this, as business owners, you can't be visible if you are invisible. Just keep that as a reminder.
Greg
And
Walker, yes. Greg Walker, yes.
yes, so remind me of my question, because here I'm talking about invisible and visible, and I forgot the question. It's Friday. Come on, it's Friday.
That's
So,
okay, but how did you triumph over the challenges that you faced along your journey
um,
thus
I
far?
I must say with gratitude that the challenges, the journey, the challenges were a part of the triumph. The challenges were, a lot of times when we talk about success, we don't talk about the mess and the failure. We see success. We don't talk about what comes or what leads up to the success. So I embrace them, because a lot of the content and a lot of my videos and the messages I share, I'm sharing with you when things were tough. And I'm sharing with you what I've learned through the tough time, and I share it with you. So don't discredit the mess, the storm. They're learning experiences. And it's what shape us, it's how we grow, and it's how we learn. But in addition to all of that, in the lessons, we also have to take action. It's the action that really, really gear you up and take you into success. And so that's really why I'm just feel so victorious these days. I'm finally able to see gratitude for all the hard times that I've been through, business wise and personally, because the woman you see now at 49 is just 49 years of journey of pain, greatness, goodness, high moments, low moments, all combined to shape who I am today. And I'm very proud of who God is in with me right now. So proud.
And we're proud of you. And to anybody listening live and on the replay, I want you to know, just listening to Love More, just share that last piece there. Know that there is triumph through pain. And you may be going through different painful moments in your life or challenging moments in your life. You could be at your worst. I know this show is airing during a pandemic, and but here's one of the things I would say: in the pain, get perspective and get a purpose out of it. Don't let it keep you there, and don't try to do it alone. Get the other P word, the Pelotons, so you can get the other P word so you can pivot, right? And be productive, And so that is so key. And as we talk about pivoting, production, all those kind of things, what are a couple, if you could share one or two, um, maybe advice, perspectives, that if somebody is starting a business now or in business and they're having some challenges, what are some foundational things that one of the things you said, Karen, and you started really well saying marketing is key. What is another good tip for somebody in business, no matter what it is?
Part of marketing is and most people, if you ask them, haven't ever did it, but it's doing a SWOT analysis.
Speak about the SWOT, the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. Come on, tell them about the SWOT.
Yeah. So, that is so key. Know what your competitors are doing. You know what? Suzanne Evans once made the comment that there is no such thing anymore as reinventing the wheel. And she's so right.
Why did she say that? That's key. Why did she say that?
It is because a lot of times people think I'm going to make $1 million overnight, and I'm not going to do the work. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to make $1 million but you know what? If you think it hasn't been done before, that's why the SWOT analysis is so important, because chances are it has. So you need to know what hasn't worked in the past so you don't make those same mistakes. Even the same thing, people will say to me, oh, I want to have this .com. And I said, well, was it successful? Like, has it been used before? Check it out, because maybe that's not the right .com. So I think that's, really key is the SWOT analysis. And, I know of a client who I wrote the SWOT analysis for. And within 1 year, she had a multiple $1 million business.
Can you do my SWOT?
But she did her homework. And she did it consistency. And she didn't honestly go to a coach and say, should I be doing this or should I be doing that? Because she had to first go to a strategist. So somebody who actually helped her develop the rollout of the plan of the business through the SWOT analysis, right? So it's very analytical. And a lot of times people don't look at it like that. It's not about your weaknesses. You have to be consistent. And where coaches come into play is if you don't have the skill sets, before you start that business, before you get on the ledge and jump, know what skill set you're missing and find someone who can help you obtain those skill sets. So it may not necessarily be education. Education and skill sets are different. And I do believe in God-given skill sets. So it means that you may not have to go to university or college, but you will be so intelligent or may have something so perfected that can help so many other people based on your skill sets.
That right there, Karen, you said, if I heard you correctly, your marketing,
Yeah.
do your SWOT analysis,
Yes.
get a strategy, and you may need a strategist to help you with that,
Yes.
and know your own strengths and weaknesses, and
Yes.
find people that can help you. And it's not
Yes.
always about having the 10,000 degree. It's about
Right.
understanding your degree of where you are at. Yes, I like
Perfect.
I like
Nailed it.
nailed it. Okay.
Boom.
So or you've done being a chef, and that was a big business you did. That was huge what you were doing in this city, my friend. And then you moved into a new space. So what are some of the key lessons that you've learned that are important to you that another business professional like yourself, entrepreneur, self-made millionaire that you are, uh, I'm calling it out, girl. I am calling it out. You better write that $1 million check to yourself and put it on the wall. I'm calling it out. Just saying.
May
Don't ask her for any money yet.
I correct you for a second?
Yes. You can always
Billionaire.
correct me.
Billionaire.
Billionaire. Okay.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Why stop at the million?
Oh, she's going in now. She's going in now, Karen.
Why stop at the million? So
It's true because you can't change the world with $1 million.
yes.
Ooh.
So I brought my Lovemore top 5, and I just want to go through it quickly because so for me, based on my experience, I just compiled all my experience and everything that I want to share with whoever is watching live or on the replay. I've condensed it into 5. I'm going to go through quickly. First of all, GPS. I want you to clearly identify, establish, and execute your GPS based on who you are and where you're going. And I want to only give you one of the GPS tonight. If you want to learn more,
What
you
does
can
GPS stand for, though? What does GPS stand for?
I'm going to tell you. I'm
so
you.
excited. That you said GPS.
The GPS I'm going to tell you about tonight for me is number 1 in life and in business. And the reason why I'm pointing this out, when I started my catering brand and throughout my catering brand, this was my established GPS. My GPS tonight that I'm talking about is a God-powered system. He's my anchor. He's my main source of inspiration. And I listen to him. I ask him, Lord, where do you want me to go? Where am I going? And all of that stuff. So GPS. And he's my CEO. When I had my catering brand, I was the CEO. He's my CEO. My daughter is my next CEO down. And then I'm the next in line. That's how it goes. And one thing I want to share, I've heard this as growing up as a child. The sky for me is not the limit. That's why I didn't stop at the million. I corrected you on that. God is my limit. And I'm going to go over quickly into number 2, self. Self. Serving everyone, love faithfully, starting by loving yourself. And I'm going to share with you, I shared it last week in our Real Talk with Lovemore. The longer you take to serve those you are assigned, the longer people suffer in pain. So for those of you who are sitting on your talents and your gifts and eating and I like I was doing, it is time. Now is the time. As Karen said, she's done being sad. I want you to say, I'm done waiting. Number 3, this is my life conscious model as a business owner. Purpose meets prosperity. And I'm only going to touch on one side because prosperity is Karen's forte. That's the whole marketing, systems, analysis, SWOT, all of the components that makes a business successful. That's not my strong point. I can tell you a lot of lessons based on what I've learned, but I'm going to stay in my lane. My lane is the purpose side of the equation. And the reason why I had a lot of unfull moments in my catering journey, because my equation, I didn't understand and know that I needed this equation of purpose meets prosperity. My equation was, and when we talk about purpose, I want to go into talk about self, passion, gifts, and talents. I had the passion, the gifts, and the talents, but self was in the equation. And I asked you a question, as a solopreneur, can you have a business if self is not present and dominant in the day-to-day breathing and living? I wasn't even existing. And my friend said this to me, my neighbor back then, a couple years ago, said, you're barely existing. So I have brought myself, you can tell, fully into the Lovemore lifestyle equation. I am grounded and anchored by reminding myself that without me, there is no Lovemore Lifestyle Inc. Right? So I just wanted to clearly share that. And the equation, we could go on and talk about that for a whole show. And number 4, redefine wealth. And for me, wealth is healthy, wealthy, whole. And I take this from Adriana Leo, Money Navigator. And number 5, who, what, why, when, and leaving the how to God. I'm not going to go into all the details because I need to have Nicole and Karen speak. But
tip 5?
Pardon me?
What was tip 5?
Who, if you're stuck, sometimes we're like, how am I going to do this? Where am I going to get the money? I always go to this formula anytime I feel stuck. And the moment I hear my voice saying how, I just stop. I'm like, no, Lovemore. Who can you call? What can you do? Revisit your why. Set a timeline and leave the how to God. And I pass it over to you. You can reach out to me anytime if you want to go it, because this is a formula that has me winning.
You went too fast. Who can you call? What can you do? And what was the third one?
Okay, so let me go through. I'm trying to just not
tip 5. No, in tip 5, you gotta just slow down.
Okay,
who
let
can
me
you
slow
call?
down. Okay, let me
What?
slow down.
Who can you call? What can you do? And what was the next one?
Let me just go through it again slowly. So This is I call it my winning Lovemore formula. One of them, whenever I have imposter syndrome, like, where am I going to get the money from? How am I going to do this? I don't see the money coming. I just breathe, calm down, and I say, okay, Lovemore, who can you call? Your Pelotons. What can you do? And this is where you put pen to paper and you write. Not in your head. Don't walk around, I'm going to do this. Da, da, da. No, get pen and paper. Not pen and paper, get a notebook, because we lose paper.
Right.
So good business practice, don't write a note on paper, please. Get a notebook. Okay? And number 3, please revisit your why. Number 4, when, always set a timeline. Always set a timeline. If you have to revisit and extend it or all of that stuff, but start with a date. Put it where you can see it and remind yourself. And the last one, which is powerful because it goes back to number 1, the GPS or anchor, my anchor, leave the how to God.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because that was full. Was that full there, Karen? I was like,
oh, it was like everybody just got all these like kaboom, 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 kaboom. It's May 4 weekend, fireworks.
Happy Victoria Day, because she sure did it.
Lovemore sharing her love.
She brought the fireworks tonight. Oh my God. So as we are wrapping up, and we want, we're so glad that everybody's coming in live on the replay, and Karen's had a full day and Lovemore's had a full day, and, want you to go and, if you're in Toronto or the T-Dot or Toronto, depending on how you say it, it's still a little sunny outside. It's not really sunny, but it's bright. It's bright. It's a balmy, hot, humid day. And if you see my blouse moving, it's because I have to literally sit with the fan on. But I love this the opportunities in the pandemic, the opportunities in the crisis, the opportunities in the moment, is that we get to sit down in our comfy homes and have this conversation with all of you. And
I know
you've been gleaning some tips, and when we talk about business and how we're loving each other more, and I can definitely see this needs at least 5 parts, because I think I have 10 10 thoughts and questions left, because we need to, how can we support other,
We'll do part 2 next week.
yeah, because we need to talk about, like, okay, how do we support other women in business? How
Right.
can we practice loving ourselves as women when the challenges are coming? How do we deal with this?
Yeah.
How to do some time for self-care, and building the brand, whatever it is. And so I think there's some other things that we can definitely dive into, and I definitely want to do the marketing piece, because you said the cart before the horse, the marketing,
Yeah.
and the SWOT analysis, because many people don't remember this, the strengths, the weakness, and the opportunities and the threats, and how to use that,
Yes.
right? Because you can use it against yourself instead of using it for yourself,
For yourself.
right.
Yeah.
So, and you two have been in business for a long time, and you have learned many things along the way, how to be discerning, how to figure out, it's all these things in loving your business and loving yourself back to life, and your business back to life, and creating that legacy. So I'm going to slow down my own darn self, and I'm going to give, Lovemore and Karen, what do you want to end with as we talk about, love and entrepreneurship, loving more in entrepreneurship, loving yourself, loving your business, growing your business, cultivating it? What are your closing words, remarks for the evening?
I am so blessed to be 60 years old. And
What? Wait,
yes,
wait.
60 years old.
Karen,
And I own that age.
Karen,
And I
stop.
own
No,
this.
stop it. Stop for a hot minute, okay?
Hot minute.
Did your mommy and daddy or your husband or your grandbaby tell you that lying is not good? You must not tell on truth. There's no
Truth.
way you were 60.
60 years old. I'm 60 and a half. I like that half.
Oh, you like that?
And you know what? I have gone through some medical issues and everything else, but I am learning. I'm going to own the next 20 years of my life. Truly own it. Stand in my power and not give a shit. I love the word shit today, sorry.
I know you do. You're crapping all over the place.
And not give a shit what anybody has to say. I feel really naughty saying it online, so really naughty. But
do you hear the Lovemore? Do you hear the Lovemore buzz up? Bzz, bzz, bzz.
But anyways, I want to, when we end this song, when we end this show, I want to do it with a song. I want to do it with "We Are Family." Woo!
I got all my sisters.
I can't sing anymore.
Okay. So okay. We'll end with a song. So we'll find that song for you. But you keep talking. I'll find a song.
No, I'm done. It's.
Oh, you're done.
It's this woman over here who's radiating right through the screen. She gets to knock us home.
I'm just gonna flow from my heart and not try to think in my mind. Here's what I have to say. This is going to be an ongoing conversation, and I have a passion for business owners, and it comes from a space of I was there, I am there. And as I said to you, the reason why I want to create this series is that word hope. I want to give that woman who was in a position I was in last year when I'm starting a new brand and I see website, logo, this, that, and all the myriad of things I wrote on my vision board. And I just fell to the floor and I'm like, how? And that's when I start to learn the who, what, why, when. I want to just reach out to you if you're watching, my fellow sisters. Not only say we're going to do, but I want us to act. I want us to help create a space where a woman can call because she knows that she can call you. A lot of times we're like, call or ask. But can I ask you, Nicole, can I call you and ask you? And even if you can't help me, you're going to say, you know what? I can't help you right now. I'm working on a lot of projects, but I'm going to see if I can find another sister or brother to help you. This is why I wanted to do Lovemore for business owners, It's not always about exchange of money. Sometimes someone just needs to sit and just like love more. I don't even know where to start. I don't have the money. Things are tough. And I can say to her, sister, sit and breathe. Let's just create a plan and let's help you start by even just like initiating the idea and just dreaming again. I
Yes.
want you to dream. I want you to believe in that dream down in your belly and just bring it to life by just saying, I'm going to do and I'm going to done with the waiting. I'm going to done waiting for the money. And I'm speaking from experience. It's taken me 5 years to do Love More Lifestyle Inc. because I'm like, I'm going to wait to do it properly. I'm going to wait for this logo. And I just got to the point where I'm like, I'm done. I am stepping. I'm going to do it messy. I'm into logo number 2 in only a couple of months. Ladies, start by starting. And not only that, learn to ask. But I'm going to ask us all, please, also learn to want to give. If we want to give more than another sister can know, I can call Lovemore, I can call Nicole, I can call Karen. And I just want to leave you with this. While you're seeking hope, be the hope to someone.
Yes.
While you're seeking hope, when I'm seeking hope,
Definitely.
Nicole and Karen, when I'm seeking hope, people don't understand. They see me happy and encouraging. And sometimes when I'm broken and down, that's when I hope and encourage even more. Because you know why? When I hope and give you hope and encourage you, it comes back to me a million times full. And this is why I have so much energy. What is it that you want to chase you down? I want hope and love and peace and joy to chase me down. So I share and share and share, and it keeps my cup full. A lot of times we think that if you're sharing and always sharing and giving, your cup's gonna run dry. My cup of love and hope and faith and peace and victory, it's not running dry, it's overflowing. So I want to end with this. Be hope. Give someone hope. Be the reason someone hope again, and just like that dream and gift and business idea just start to overflow and burst with joy. You know, I get so passionate about this. I am going to pass it over to Nicole to wrap us up because I must need to stop talking because I could talk for another hour, and then we're gonna sing out all together. Even though we're not singers, we are family because this is a space we want to create.
Like, what am I supposed to say after that, Karen? Like, really?
I know. I know.
Like, really? What more can I say after that?
I don't know.
Thank you for, I'm going to be humbling my little self here. Thank you for joining Karen and Lovemore and myself on Speak Up and Empower on this beautiful Friday afternoon here in Toronto. Wherever you are in the world that you're joining us on the live on replay, if you're in the continent of Africa, if you're in Europe, if you're in the Caribbean, if you're in North America, if you're in Guadalajara, if you're in Mount Everest, wherever you are, remember to speak up and empower. Speak up and be empowered. Remember to speak up and empower somebody else. And you know how you do this? By loving more, by being more, by being the love you want to see and the love you want to get. And remember that you are victory. You are victorious. Every day is a new opportunity. And the fact that we are here, if you are listening to us, you are in the land of the living. And it may not feel like you want to be in the land of the living, but we are glad someone appreciates you, even though you do not know it right now. And if you are feeling down and out, call a friend. You've got someone to call. If it even comes to worse, drop us a line in our DMs and say it's
Mhm.
just too much for me today.
Yeah.
I just need someone to talk to. If you have a business, you know, you're a speaker, listen, you better go and learn how to sign up under Speak Up and Empower and Karen, because that's where you want to be. And if you want to learn how to love more through it all, you better go talk to the real Love More, Miss Cher McLaughlin, because that's what she does. She loves more every day. And she teaches us how to love more, just how she starts her day with music, with song, with dance. And even when she doesn't feel like it, we have to push past our emotions. And I know that I have had to say that to myself many times. And when we don't feel it, you call your Peloton, and that's one somebody in your life or someone you don't know, because sometimes it's the people that you don't know. So we are going to say that from our family, this family right here to yours, you know, get your sisters, start dancing.
She got it.
Of course I have the music. I'm victory. I'm going to get victory.
Look at you go, girl.
Okay? And we are going to end this live with a little music. This is my sister Sledge. We are family. We want you to be part of our family. Love more, empower, and get your sisters.
I got all my sisters and me. Woo-hoo. We are family.
And we are going to see you next
Next
week,
week.
7 p.m. And go give someone you love a hug today, even if it's a virtual hug. Send them a text. Give them a love note. Get a new pen pal. But do something that's loving today and empowering.
We are